I'll, this is something that is unexpected. Just give me 2 minutes. I need to take a backup of this. It's very bad on part of me. Okay. So, team, welcome to QA live project orientation. This is just an orientation session in which we'll try to address or try to give a details about what is the advantage of QA live project, the importance of it in your resume. See the agenda, something looks like this. We'll talk about the QA live project as such and its importance of having the live project experience in your resume. What are the prerequisites that you need to already have it before starting up with this, and the teams. So we're going to divide this entire leads into different groups, and you'll be actually doing a teamwork here. So we'll talk about what is the advantage of that, dividing it into teams, and what kind of challenges you'll face from that, what you actually learn it. So the learnings from those challenges will be definitely the advantages of the things for you when you try to put up that in your experience as part of the project, and also what kind of other gainings that you will do as part of the teamwork and everything will do. What are the deliverables that you're going to do in the overall project duration, which is going to be like 2 to 3 weeks of time. What are all the complete deliverables from the software development lifecycle is what you're going to expected to deliver in this. And if time permits, today itself I'll try to introduce the project, but otherwise we will have one more day one session which is totally dedicated to give all the details about the project, its URL, its link, and the domain details about the project and what you're going to do in that. Okay, so to start with the QLI project team, so it is one of the prestigious one that IT Learn does it. Not just the training part of it for anything. If it is, for example, you can take QL live, QL live sessions where you will be learning lots of concepts and how to. Even there, we will try to do it with a project, the writing test cases or execution of the test cases or the defects and everything. But this is where that's where the trainer is kind of explaining you and you're trying to get it just like a one-way direction, of course, unless you make it more interactive. But this is QA live project is one where you will be hands-on. You will be completely giving all the deliverables typically in a real project sense how you do it. Here, like Karthik, myself, and Manoj will act as your stakeholders, like test manager and test leads, and you will be the one. Of course, we'll give you everything that is required for you to start, you to write the kind of things. For example, it could be an SRS document that you wanted to prepare. So we'll give you an SRS template. We'll give you all the requirements in the offline, and you can put them up in the document and prepare a nice, the system requirement specification document, pretty much similar to what it looks like in the real project. Because the project which we are picking up is the live project of IT Elan organization with it's one of its prestigious clients. So some of your contributions may directly go into the the live deliverables also. We'll pick up the best ones and we'll try to add them to that. So the advantage is that you will be given all the templates to do, like SRS document, master test plan document, test cases sheet in which you're going to prepare, the defect sheet in which you're going to log the defects. So all the templates will be given to you, and you can completely do all of them manually in the sheets, or you can take the help of any of the tools that are available for you, like the test management and defect tracking management tools like Zira, Bugzilla, or Quality Center or ALM to maintain your details and everything into those tools. Okay, but primarily you are going to work on it. And of course, while working on it, maybe this is your first project in the field of IT. You might have an experience in other fields, but if at all you're doing it for the very first time, I know you will have some uh, kind of issues in the very beginning. That is when, like, you and me can basically can interact, and you can approach us. We'll give you certain tips and guidelines, but deliverable is totally from your side, and it is not an individual deliverable. So what we are going to do, out of 40 people or 50 people that we have in the project, or in the QLI project, we'll divide them into different teams, 4 or 5 teams, typical to the agile world of today's situation, where the typical agile expects about 7 to 9 people. So we'll try to divide them according to a team of agile scrum team size around 7 to 9, and you guys will be interacting it on the daily basis through different mechanisms of, you can use it Skype meetings, or you can use go to meeting trial versions of it, and you communicate yourself basically on a daily basis. You can quickly meet for a daily 15 to 20 minutes of a stand-up kind of thing among yourself, uh, to talk about how the progress is going on, what deliverables that, of course, before that, one of you would take some kind of, you yourself will decide who is that, but one of you will divide the tasks and assign it to among your team members, and then each individual person is going to start working on the project. So, and then you give the status back to the team. This is what I have worked on it. This is what I need to do, and this is what is pending from my side. So you will give all your deliverables, and all of you will consolidate. So we'll share one Google Drive. So typically, how we're going to do, I'll just put this in a Drive document. So this is the most five, in which, let me just create one folder called. Let me just create a folder here. Something called QA Live Project. So, and we'll give the access to this one, wherein you all can, will of course divide into different teams, and will name them those teams, and you will be part of one of the team, and you will be uploading only to that particular folder. Again, we'll create 4 or 5 folders based on the team names, and if you belongs to, let's say, some team called Nexus, you will be uploading your deliverables, everything under that only. Okay, so let me just try to explain it here, what we try to do. Okay, so the first thing is, it's a live project of IT eLearn, from its prestigious clients. That is the very first thing that you need to understand. Okay, what is that client and what is that application? I will try to introduce if time permits today, but otherwise we have a days one session purely planned for that, where I will be giving you all the details that is expected out of it. And what we are going to do, we are going to divide them, all the members, into different teams, where a team size of 7 to 9 people. This is what the industry standard typically in the agile world of deliverables today. Okay, agile scrum team kind of thing. That's what we are going to do it. And one of you, you can call it as team lead, or you can call it as scrum master. I don't know who is going to be. That is, you guys are going to decide among yourself. And I don't have, even who is going to be part of which team. I don't have any of those clarities at this moment. Probably by day one session, we'll do that, and we'll share with you who is going to be part of which team. And you can give your preferences based on the geographic locations that you are, because the times and everything should match. We have the audiences from all over the world, so we'll try to match in those and try to make some small changes based on your time zones and everything. But at this moment, we don't have any teams or groups that we have done it. So we'll make, one of you will make as a team leader scrum master, who will be basically creating the tasks for individual. He will not create, he will just assign the task, rather task for the each individuals, and follow up on them. Of course, it is not his job, but why I'm telling is, it is actually your job. As soon as you're done with some task, you have to give the status back. But just in case if somebody has not joined in one of the daily stand-up meeting, the team lead or scrum master will try to reach that person and then try to get what is the status on that, or you have any problem in following up on the things or completing up on the things, so that he can offload some of the work from you and onload it with the other person in the group. So that's what typically he's going to do it. And you're all going to meet on a daily stand-up meeting. This is what happens in today's Scrum world. Uh, a daily stand-up meeting just for 15 minutes, not more than that. 15 minutes, depending on your need. If at all somebody wanted to discuss a little bit more, you can extend it up, but you need to just have a quick 15 minutes of sync up to talk about only few things. First thing that you have to talk about is what you have completed today. If you guys are meeting at the end of the day, you should talk about what you have completed today, what from the task that is being allocated, and what is that planned for you for the next day. If at all you are meeting on the beginning of the day, you can convert these questions into what you have completed yesterday and what are you planning to do today. And the third question is there any roadblock? Okay, is there any roadblock that you can talk about it? If there is a roadblock, like, for example, you are not understood something, or you are not able to finish certain tasks, you can share it with your leader, scrum master, or you can write an email to us, learn@itlearn.com, if it is something that you are looking from a help from us, and then we will try to help you on that. But that we would expect only when you have some roadblock. Even that you would discuss within your team first. If you don't know the answer, probably the other team member would know it, and then you will try to cover it up that. But definitely you can reach to us and we'll be able to help you. See, this is going to be pretty much like you have been put onto a project in case of real time, and it's a good clear way of, you will be really working with different people from the all over the world, from different locations. So you should have that experience of that also in case of real time, because you may be having people from different parts of the world. So similar thing you will get to expose it here, or kind of experience it from here from the project. Okay, so that's one thing, how we are going to do it. See, the prerequisites to do this, the deliverables, I'll just talk it quickly a minute, but the prerequisites, whoever want to be part of this project, what you need to know is that, I have a fair assumption here is that the assumption is that you already know the QA concepts, and you have some idea on manual testing. Okay, that is the overall prerequisite that I can expect. So what happens in QA concepts is that QA concepts, you would probably might have understood what is an SRS, or FS, functional specification. You might have gone through certain SDLC models, waterfall model or V model, or agile model. So typically how software development life cycle works out from a requirements phase to the maintenance phase of it. So you would know those concepts. That's the understanding behind the starting up with this project. You should already know. If at all you are not knowing, then please let us know. We'll help you what are the videos that you need to watch it before you start up the project. Otherwise, you will be a little bit of behind the schedule with respect to your deliverables with others. Okay, SDLC you should know, something called software testing lifecycle you should know, and you should know different uh, deliverables that are expected from the testing team, like what is test cases, how to write test cases, how to do test execution, and make the results pass and fail when you do certain execution. And you should know what is defect tracking or defect life cycle as such. Okay, what is defect life cycle or defect tracking? And finally, reporting. Okay, for each of this, whether it is, of course, one important thing that I forgot is a test plan, or you can call it as master test plan. Generally people try to call it as master test plan. Okay, these are the things that in fact will be the deliverables from you in the overall project. So that's automatically it goes as prerequisites that you would know these things before you start the project. So we'll give you the template for SRS. We'll give you the template for master test plan. Okay. And we'll give you the template for test cases, how to write the test case and everything. There itself you can put the execution, and we'll give you defect tracking, how to do it, and we'll tell you reporting. So these are all the primary deliverables from you when you complete the project, which is going to be like 3 weeks of time, let's say. So in those 3 weeks of time, you will be finishing the SRS, even though it's not your job. Actually, SRS writing is a job of a project manager. But why we try to give you this is, if you get an experience of even understanding, not just understanding, but if you get a chance of writing the SRS, that will be much better thing from the testing point of view. Because nowadays you might even have only testing projects also. There are some companies who are working only on the testing services side. In that case, people who grown from the testing background, they will write the requirements of that particular project. So one of you will become project manager in that particular testing project after certain experience. So it is better to start at that level. So you can write the SRS, and then you can go to master test plan, writing test cases. Of course, you will do the test execution and track the results and everything. Then how to log the defects, defect tracking, and reporting. These are the primary deliverables. So the expectation is that you would know already what is meant by an SRS, what is a master test plan and what it contains, how to write test cases. If you don't know any one of them or two of them, nothing to worry at this moment, because when we give you the templates and everything, spend some time, go through it, and try to understand what it is there. And we will be having 2 sessions, I would say, per week in those 3 weeks of time, 2 to 3 sessions in those 3 weeks of time, where me and Manoj will join, and we'll try to address all the questions that you guys have. Of course, we will have a day one and day two, probably a few days from now. Like, we are going to start this project tentatively on 29th or 30th of July, because we have to finish some of the QA live trainings that are happening, and then we'll immediately start after that. So we'll have day one and day two sessions will be there. After that, you will be in those sessions, you will be given everything that you require to do start with the project. Now you will be doing the things, and then you will come back to us again twice in a week, where me and Manoj will join, address your questions, or you try to present it what you have done. So the another biggest advantage what you're going to get is the presentation. So it's not just that you do something in the back and then you say, yeah, we have completed. No, every team is going to present, what they have done. Let's say if they have prepared some SRS this week and started with the master test plan, one of you will nominate yourself from the team point of view and talk about it, how you have done that, or what is the deliverables that you have done so far. And let me tell you, me and Manoj will give you the comments or the kind of changes that are required if anything is not up to the mark, to the same extent of the things that happens in case of a real life. So we'll give you the review comments, we'll give you the inspection comments out of the status that you're going to show us, and we would expect you to go correct them and show it in the next presentation session whenever it is there, the next immediate one, right? So that way what happens is, you are actually, if at all, I mean, we all do mistakes when you're learning, especially with the first project. Definitely you do mistakes, right? The whole idea is, when with experience of 13 years of myself, and Manoj has a good amount of 10 plus years of experience, when we try to correct you or try to give you some comments that will definitely help you in your real project, when you go and try to do it, you will be much better than the people who comes with just a QA training experience, or they don't really have a live project experience. So that's the kind of presentation, and we'll give you straightforward comments, what should not be there, what should be there, how you should do. And sometimes Karthik will come in and he will try to give the comments on the presentations that are going and happening. Okay, so that's another thing, is like, you will get to an experience of presenting it in front of 40 plus folks or 50 plus folks, and thinking they are all joining from worldwide, from different geographic locations. So if they have any questions apart from me and Manoj or Karthik, they will also try to ask you, and try to kind of it's not just to question your work, but they try to understand what you have done and how the things have progressed. Okay, and you should be that's a very good experience, no doubt about it. It is as good as presenting it to your client or business. So that's another part of the overall thing. So we talked about the live project. What is the importance of this one? Okay, why you have to have a live project experience? Can anybody say why do you think, or why do you have joined this orientation session, and why do you think the importance of live project experience in your resume? Can anybody say it in the chat? Fine, you might have learned some of the prerequisites, whatever I talked about it. Master test plan, test cases. People might have explained you how to write test cases, how to do this, that, and all. Why are you not just good with that? Why you want to go for this project experience, right? As folks are saying it on the chart, to get a confidence, hands-on experience, to have hands-on, as most of you are saying, to have hands-on, right? That is the first thing. Fine. If you just want to have hands-on, even if you're doing it alone, let's say, not like a real team, you may be stuck somewhere, you may be blocked somewhere, and you may not have much of the kind of interest or motivation to do it. But when you actually do in a real life project that's already happening with other folks in the team, and you will have definitely a motivation, and you will be learning on the mistakes that you're going to do. Another biggest advantage of this is people whoever will really contribute to this, and if we have taken some of those contributions in the previously also into the real life work, you can go and put this as part of your experience in the resume also, and you can refer it as an IT Learn project, and you can give us the the contacts of IT Learn. If somebody tries to contact us saying, hey, this person has done the project for you, our team will definitely give the details from so and so date he has done it, and these are the contributions and everything. It's not an experience letter, but you can definitely put this as part of your resume. Okay, so that's the advantage of the live project. It is typically a live project, so you're hands-on on that. Second thing, you can go and mention it in your resume or a profile that I've done it from this, and if but we will be able to help you only if you have really contributed something. Even if you just join, pay the money, and you come back in the last session and say, okay, I'm there. No, we will look at the sheet very clearly, who is progressing, who are really doing the deliverables, and some of those top 10, top 15 people. I mean, if everybody is doing very good, that's fine, but only people who will be really contributing it will get the advantage of that from the reference point of view. But if you have seen and observed that some of the people are not really taking up seriously, or for whatever the reason, we may not be able to help you much. Okay, that's the whole idea. Any questions on that, the experience of why we should have the what is the importance of having live project experience? So we talked about introduction to the project, how we are going to do it, and the prerequisites, the teams and advantages. Again, when we divide you into teams, right? So you will definitely face lots of challenges. So what kind of challenges? So team structures, I told you, we'll be dividing it into 7 to 9 people. We'll try to mix and match with different geographic locations so that you get an experience from the worldwide. But what kind of challenges that you would face? It is as good as the typical real life challenges, right? Uh, typically in a team of real teams also, not everybody will be on the same page, right? Not everybody will be contributing to the level of expected thing. One is definitely, as somebody is saying, coordination. It's one of the major problem, right? So you will come to know how to coordinate with other folks or other team members in your team, and that is one of them. So motivation. So some of, for example, if any one of them is not motivated, let's say, or for whatever the reason, how do you get motivated the others? And as you grow in the ladder, this is one of the experience of the leader. He should definitely have an experience to motivate his team. And I'm expecting this from whoever is going to pick up the lead or scrum master role. How do you motivate the team to do that, right? And the overall performance, right? That's another thing. Definitely, as a team, you have advantages. Multiple brains are working, multiple scenarios will come in, multiple test cases will come in, rather than one individual working and trying to solve the problem. So there is an advantage, but the challenges also, like not everybody willing to spend their 100% of their time for this project. some of them are may not be very proactive, unless you might find one or two interesting people where you kind of have to do some little bit of spoon feeding, like you have to explain, go do this, then only you'll be able to do it. Some of them you'll find very proactive, you just tell them, they will have some of the deliverables. So you'll find all kind of team members in your team. So one is, we talked about coordination, so you will take this as an advantage, and wherever there is a challenge, you try to address that. Motivation is also one of the advantage, you get it from the team. If at all, if any one or two folks are not motivated, you try your influence to motivate them. And when we join the live sessions and all, me and Manoj will try to motivate them and the importance of it, how to do it. uh, Performance, definitely team performance will be much better than an individual. That's what we have talked about it. Any other advantages or challenges that you feel? Lack of communication. So you all will be joining for the daily stand up, and let's say one of you team member is not regularly joining, try to getting him onto the call and trying to understand his. But again, if you're a lead or a master, don't take advantage of that role. You have to communicate it with like an equal member, because you're all working on the same page, you're all on the same page. All that some of you might have taken you as a lead by looking at your profile or experience or whatever. So just keep that in mind, and then try to motivate them to do much better work than anything else. So communication, right? So some of your team members will try to communicate their status on the regular basis. Some of them may not communicate it. So you will figure it out a way as you just move. In the first 1 or 2 days, you will understand some X person is not able to communicate the status on the regular basis. So you'll figure it out a way within your team. What is the best way to get the status back? Either you put the status questions, or he or she will come proactively and try to give the status. So within a day or two, you will be able to figure it out. Who are your team members and what is the best way to communicate with them. And you can do the communication either through Skype, or you can go to the trial version of GoToMeeting, which will be valid for about 30 days. You can use that, and it can allow up to 10 people, so you're good to do that. Okay. So any other advantages or challenges that you think as a team? Okay, somebody is very new to IT. That's another important point Ravina is trying to raise, right? I'm expecting most of you will be in that situation, but if at all in any of your team members, if one or two people are from an IT background, my suggestion is try to leverage them, try to learn from them. And the other way I request the folks who have one or two people who have an IT experience is try to give the picture of what happens in IT, how the things will happen, right? So it's kind of, there is somebody who is little bit behind you. You have seen the picture of how IT works for 6 months, 1 year, whatever the project that you have, and there are folks in your team who are just new to IT. So try to onboard them onto it. Of course, through the live sessions, me and Manoj will try to cover some of them, but it is again within your team. If any one or two IT members are there, so try to onboard them and explain how IT projects will happen. That will help them. It's not is not IT background is big. No, observe. See, let me tell you one good thing about testing. Okay, let me just pick up this paint for a quick thing. The good thing about testing is what you are going to majorly do is something is a black box testing, right? It is a black box testing. What is a black box testing? You are going to test a project, whatever the project that we give you, or it could be a it's a web application for sure. But when you put it in the real project, it could be uh, a Windows application, or it could be a mobile application or anything. And it is expected to do something. Let's say this is something related to some e-commerce application, or some e-business application, or it is something related to some tax calculation application, or it's something related to an online shopping, whatever, right? Now, as a black box test engineer, what you are going to do is you will verify its functionality, whether it is working as expected or not. For example, typically what I can do in an e-commerce application, I can go and search what kind of products that are available. Okay, this is all about a manual only. Okay, so Ramesh is saying, is this training is not related to QTP tool? This is about QA live project, QA manual testing live project orientation, Ramesh. So Similar thing, we do it for QTP, we do it for Selenium, we do it for other tools also. But as soon as the live training does completes for those tools, we'll have a project for that also. But this is something that is related to manual testing. So right now we are kind of closing the live training sessions on the QA. So we thought this is the right time for to do the QA live project. So we are starting up with this. And the QTP live training is coming up on in the next week. Karthik is starting that. After those live trainings are done, he will do the live project for QTP or UFT. Same thing we'll do it for Selenium. Okay. Now coming back to this, what I was saying is you will be testing its functionality, whether it is working or not, without really knowing the internal code, in which language this code is written, or what is the underlying design, or what is the technology behind it. So you don't need to really know all these things, the technology behind it, whether they are using C sharp or Java, or what is that they are using. As a black box test engineer, you don't need to really have this programming knowledge in which it is developed. All that you're going to do is check whether it is functionality is working fine or not. Sometimes you do non-functional testing, like you do load testing, you do performance testing. Definitely all the web applications, I'm sure when you do this project also, you will have to do some non-functional testing, something like load testing related, performance testing. And all the web applications are security prone, so you have to do some good amount of security related testing there. You have to do compatibility testing on different browsers. You have to do a cross platform testing or browser platform testing. All those things you're going to do. So you're going to do functionality and non-functionality testing. For this, if you ask me the question, is somebody required from an IT background? If you have an IT background, well and good. You know how systems are developed, you know a little bit of programming and things like that, understand the internal details of an application, that is well and good. But even if you're a non-IT background, that is well and good, because what you're going to test is only the functionality and non-functional testing, without looking at its internal details, how the code is written, how the logic is written, and all that. For example, if this application is something related to finance, let's say it's something related to tax calculation or etc., I would say a person coming from finance background can do much better job of testing than a computer science background, because you already know how the finance system works, you know how the tax calculation works and everything, right? Similarly, for example, we have a healthcare domain project. And if somebody joining as a test engineer, non-computers graduate, but he has some experience in healthcare domain, you might have worked in some, customer relationship management, or you might have worked in somewhere in the healthcare industry, you would do much better job than a test engineer coming from an IT background. Similarly, if you have an application that is related to some ERP, let's say enterprise resource planning, and if some test engineer coming from non-IT, but he has some idea on how enterprise works, what are the different modules in an enterprise, you can do much better job than an IT background. So to the question that somebody asked, is not having a IT background is the biggest disadvantage? Absolutely no, especially in testing. Especially in testing, the reason, because you're not going to, and if you're going to work in manual testing especially. Of course, when you go to automation with QTP, UFT, or Selenium, you need to learn a little bit of an automation coding, programming, to automate the test cases what you have done so far in manual. Okay, but for manual testing perspective, absolutely not a problem. And this orientation session is all about manual testing. So absolutely, even if you're from a non-IT background, completely not a problem. Any other questions that you guys have? So what I was talking about, the teams, do people with IT background have more advantage in getting job? Again, I think I have covered it much. So nothing like that. Nothing like that. As soon as, see, if I'm hiring for a particular domain application, I would see the domain knowledge much comparatively with an IT. Now, see, nowadays everybody is using IT, right? Tell me who is not using an IT system. Day in, day out, for to do everything, we are using IT systems. Maybe you want to book some tickets, you want to shop something, you want to order something, we are using IT systems. It was the case 10 years back. Probably some of you may not be much familiar in using those IT systems on your day-to-day activities. But today, in every mobile application, every application that is there on your Windows system, to get the things done. You wanted to book something, order something, you wanted to read something, everything you're doing it through online, and it's an IT system, nothing else. So if you have that much knowledge, for example, typically what happens in any e-commerce system, right? You go search for the products. If you like a product you want to purchase, and you add it to your shopping cart, the system might show you some discounts available, not available, etc., etc. And then you go for a making of the payments through a payment gateway system. It will connect to a payment gateway system, which is another software from another company probably, and wherein you will make the payments through credit card, debit card, whatever, or pay on delivery kind of an option, and you're done. So that is a typical business life cycle in an e-commerce system. But to develop that system, there might be so many other complications that will happen, and you will learn it through when you're working in that particular project, right? So it's absolutely not the case. Like, do people with IT background have more advantage of getting the job? It's not the case. Okay, so Vinith has one good question about the project point of view. He's saying we would be given proper system requirements in a document, or we need to fetch requirements on our own. It's actually mix. When we introduce this project in the day one and day two, we'll try to give you as much as requirements orally. We'll tell you what this project, what you can do in that, what you cannot do in that, what is already implemented, what is not implemented. We'll try and tell you as much as possible. If you can, then and there, if you note some of them, that's well and good. And then what we'll do, we'll give you an SRS template. It could be, for the previous project or something that we have done, we'll give you the SRS template. Except the headings and sections, you will erase everything from that, and then you try to write from the scratch with the explanation that we have done in the day one and day two sessions about the project, with the kind of notes that you have taken on certain. So let's say out of 9 members in your team, you might have noted something, somebody else might have noted something, so you will consolidate all that, and then you will prepare that SRS. Let me tell you, right now you may not appreciate much. When you start doing the things, you will really feel challenging, and you will really feel the same way as it is going to be in real time. Since you are facing all these kind of challenges here, when you go join in the real project, you will actually treat it as a cakewalk. But if you don't do this now, and you directly join in a team as a queue member, and everybody started throwing you from all the directions of 360 degrees, somebody's telling you go update this, somebody telling you update this requirement document, somebody's telling you write the test case, you'll actually be a little bit in a confusing state. What to pick up first, what not to pick up first, prioritizing your tasks, everything will be in a little bit of confusion. Is it true that manual testing jobs are rare? See, testing jobs are of two types. So every team will have manual testing team as well as automation testing team. But manual testing you cannot avoid. It has to be there. For example, if a brand new project is coming up, V1 project is coming up, it has to be done manually. Automation, see, automation is not possible in all the scenarios. If you think that the product is going to be there for next couple of years, at least 3-4 years with some 5 or 6 versions, then only we'll pick it up automation. It's not that everything that we do automation. If you know that this project is going to be there only for 1 year, in which you will have only 3-4 releases, better you do manual testing. Yes, we'll record all the live project classes also. Everything will record and share it to you. Okay, so one more thing, if you wanted to understand the QA live project experience, there is one recent video that Karthik has done it, and I'm sure you all should watch that. It's there in the events of IT Learn. Let me just try to show you that. Just go to IT Learn. Under events, there is something called need project experience on your resume. Just watch that video, which is done on March 31st. You would get understanding of why the project is important. Okay. Of course, there are other things that you'll keep doing it on, with a lot of interest, that 11 tips to, crack your interview, how to crack your resume, how to prepare it, and 5 ways to become a master test engineer. So these are some of the free videos that you can actually go and watch them. Okay, definitely I would expect everyone to watch this one, the project one, for sure. need project experience on your resume. All of you just watch that. Okay, so let me just look at the agenda back, and I kind of covered it on the team's advantages and challenges. What we're going to cover: deliverables, deliverable. Yeah, those are all events. Whatever is done, majorly of them are free. So events, not events. So the deliverables also, I kind of explained what you're going to do in this project. Uh, like we said, mainly the SRS is one thing, test plan is one thing, test cases is one thing, test execution, defect tracking, and finally the test status and defect status. So these are the deliverables, and for each of them we'll give you templates. Of course, you need to erase everything from the previous project. You can just read once, try to get an idea, erase everything, and you'll start writing on your own for the new project. Introduction to the project, I'll do it probably in the next session. That is for the day one session, which is an upcoming one. But I wanted to take it up any more questions that you have at this moment on this QA Live project thing that we're going to do. It is going to be about a 3 weeks program in which you will be doing majority of the work. We will be there to guide you, help you if you're stuck, and we'll be giving you the feedback on those live sessions when you come for the presentations of what work you have done on behalf of the team. Oh, it's just okay. So Vinith is saying I'm away from 30th to 4th August. Mostly the day one and day two will be happening those times, and that will be recorded and it will be kept in the website. It will be free again. By the time you come back on 4th August, you may, if you are interested, you have joined, you may be allocated to one of the team, and that email will be coming to you with your team members and everything. And from once you come back, you can start working on the project. So, do we get resume from you since we do not have any experience in IT and job? Definitely, we'll be able to help you with sample resume, how to prepare, what kind of things that you have to put it in your resume, what kind of roles and responsibilities you have to put as part of a test engineer. I will be helping you on that, no doubt about that. Okay, Anusha is saying what project we're going to work on. So we're thinking of two projects right now. Probably I can tell you one of them, but once I finalize, which is the last day to make it, please check those things with the learn@itlearn.com. Just write an email. They'll be able to help you. So we have something called mybreakmasters.com is one of the prestigious client for us again. It's going to be a typical web application with lots of features in it. There is one parent site for this breakmasters.com, but this is exclusively for two different locations that they are asking us to kind of enhance it. So we'll picking up this one. We'll talk about more on this, what features it has, and what are the requirements of this project and everything. We'll discuss that in the next one. So something's related to the mechanical system, mechanical industry related one. Are you going to allocate the SRS or we have to set? So we'll give you templates. Okay, we'll give you templates. We'll give you what you need to do, the details and everything, and then you will be preparing. Okay, people whoever do not have QA prerequisites, you can watch these QA training videos. There are some around 5 hours of free videos. You should watch them. You will get an idea. Any other questions that you guys have at this moment? Mock interview, will you guys help? We'll give you frequently asked questions, and we'll give you resume tips how to prepare, what responsibilities and to put it. And one good thing that's happening at ITLN right now, it's actually started long back, and it's picking up in a very high momentum, is that uh, there are some consultancies that ITLN is being tie up, and we are trying to shortlist a couple of candidates. At the moment, I think we're going to start very soon on Selenium and UFT. Definitely we'll be having it on the manual also. So there will help you how to do the mock interviews and everything for sure. Before joining live project, joining all paid videos are necessary to see how long will it take. So now you got about a 1 week of time, right? So Today we are in 23rd, and you have 1 week of time, and it's a good time to watch those fundamental videos. But even after day 1 and day 2, you'll have another 2 days of, so during those day 1 and day 2, so you'll have another 2 days. So altogether you have about 9 days of time. So you have good amount of time to watch those videos. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? Yes, it is the application and the test. All right. So we will be sending you an email with the details on the day 1 session. So ISTQB, we recently done it, Siddhi. So uh, again, it will take a couple of weeks to start again. But if you are in hurry to complete, my suggestion is go and take up the videos. I have done myself. There are about 22 hours of videos on the complete ISTQB training. And my suggestion is come back when we do the live again to take up that. But for now, if it is immediate, you can actually start up on that. Daily, we would expect from your side about 2 to 3 hours of time. You're not going to spend on the whole day for this project. You're going to spend about 2 to 3 hours of time. Should be good. Yeah, links and everything to download Bugzilla, where to log the bugs, or Zero to log the bugs, or you know QC if you wanted to use. We'll give you the links. So next class will be tentatively around 30th. You will get an email from the team, and that will be like a day 1 session where we go more drill down on the project work, and day 2 will be there. After that, you'll be on kind of starting off with the work. Do the interviewer ever ask to show him what projects we have done? They will normally ask you to explain the architecture of the project, what you have done, what are your responsibilities in that. Those things they will be asking you. Okay. And what technologies were involved inside of it. They don't ask you any technology, but they may ask you which technology it is being developed. What was your role in that? Which modules you have tested? How many test cases you have written? How many bugs you found? Typically, what you're going to do in this project. All those they will ask you, basically what you have done. Is ISTQB certification required to get a job? It is something like this. This is not about ISTQB orientation, but let me just take up this question. It is something like if two people are coming for a job, two of them are equally good, they are equally sound in technology, experience and everything, probably I would prefer somebody else certified, right? That's the idea. So live project sessions per 2 weeks of 2 years, you people will take. No, we don't take anything. You will basically present, and you will come back with any blocking issues. We'll try to help you. We'll try to take you out of that blockage, and you will present your work, and we'll correct you if you are not doing correctly, and we'll tell you the tips and tricks what you have actually do it in the deliverables. Okay. Yes, all your work will be reviewed. That's one thing that I can assure you. Fine. So with this, let's pause it for today. This is the orientation, and please join us for day 1, where we'll be giving you more details on the project. When are you going to send this every class? What is that question, Pravina? We'll take up this last question. Can you elaborate it much? But in the video you're talking about it, video will be there in a couple of hours. All the recordings of what we do will be trying to do in a couple of hours, upload into our website. Okay, all right. So thank you, team. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're from. See you in the day 1 session, for which just keep a watch on the emails. Thank you.